And they're off. It's a quick start for Nell's Legacy. Musical number on the extreme outside has some good early foot, too. And in between them, Petite Treat, Broadway Venus in the mix, too. Behind that group, Thirsty Destiny in the white is widest of all. In tight is Hera's Hope down on the inside. Ryan's Girl is the gray just in front of that rival. Press Your Luck in the orange colors is moving into contention, too. Down the back stretch, heads apart up top. It's Broadway Venus on the outside and Petite Treat head and head for the lead. Musical number third. Nell's Legacy and Ryan's Girls stride for stride. Two more back to Thirsty Destiny. Outside Press Your Luck and Hera's Hope trails. Approaching the quarter pole, it's Petite Treat leading by a neck to Broadway Venus in second. Two more lengths, Ryan's Girl, Nell's Legacy saving ground on the inside. Musical number outside of that pair. They are at the top of the stretch and Petite Treat has a two-length lead. Nell's Legacy gets breathing room on the inside. Then it's musical number, Broadway Venus in between 16th pole, Petite Treat, Nell's Legacy. Musical number getting going now in the final stages. Musical number or Petite Treat. Here's the line. Photo finish. Too close to call. Musical number or Petite Treat. It's desperately close between those two. Behind them, Press Your Luck was on the scene late, along with Ryan's Girl. Two of them were battling for some of the minor awards. Tiny Prancer to the outside. Goes in. We're in the gate, and they're off. Very tardy beginning for Parlay Bay. It's Miss Peru getting the first call. Tiny Prancer has speed up alongside the challenge. Here's Destiny's Diva coming through along the inside. Beverly T in between those two. Noble Runner is next. Hakuia is 6 lengths off the lead, and slow starting Parlay Bay is last. Over to the half-mile pole, Tiny Prancer crosses and clears by 3. Destiny's Diva is in second, followed by Beverly T in third. Then it's Miss Peru, 3 deep now, 5 or 6 off this loose leader, Tiny Prancer, who's trying to blow him away right now. Then Noble Runner, who's 4 wide, racing 3 in front of Hakuia, and Parlay Bay starts to pick it up from behind. But in the meantime, Tiny Prancer has built up a 10-length lead. Tiny Prancer, she's all alone at the top of the stretch. Now maybe 15 in front. Beverly T trying to hold second. Hakuia moves through on the inside, and Parlay Bay. A one-horse race. Tiny Prancer by the length of the stretch. It's going to be close to 20 lengths for Tiny Prancer. Tiny Prancer gallops. Take a deep breath and wait for Hakuia to complete the exacta. Then it was Miss Peru and Parlay Bay. Time 111.74 seconds. Second race named Happy Birthday Smitty. In the third, no changes. 25 minutes. All set once again. And they're off. What makes Sammy run out alertly? Here's Charge for Gold, flying through on the inside, though, to take the lead. And Game Time showing his natural early foot second. Cubby is a close-up third. What makes Sammy run as usual, settles well off the pace, now has 5 to make up. Dandy Man shines second to last, and Grand Aspen is at the back. 8 lengths covers them. It's Charge for Gold. The loose leader, Cubby, is under a stronghold in second. 3 more lengths to a well-settled Game Time third. What makes Sammy run? Dandy Man shines, passing rivals down on the inside. He's within 4 lengths of the front runner, and Grand Aspen at the back. Heading to the quarter pole, it's Charge for Gold with a 2-length lead. Cubby chases him throughout. At the rail, Dandy Man shines in Game Time, head and head, third and fourth. Grand Aspen and What Makes Sammy run, top of the stretch. Charge for Gold has had it all his own way. Dandy Man shines, picking up good momentum on the inside now. Clearly into second. Game Time, Cubby between those two. Final furlong, Charge for Gold still with a 3-length lead. On the outside, Game Time and Dandy Man shines chasing. Charge for Gold is almost home, and Charge for Gold in front-running fashion under Kyle Frey really never asked for his best. He aired. Photo for second between Dandy Man Shines and Game Time. Behind them, Grand Aspen. Magic Wanderer, taking her time. All set. And they're off. Quick start for Perfect in Gray in the middle, straight to the front. Hot Jammy's hard ridden for speed second. Ripping Away is down at the rail in third, followed by Magic Wanderer, 6 off the pace in fourth. Then Shadowed Thoughts in the fifth spot, 3/4 back to Blue Breeze. And outside of that pair, it's Your Royal Flyness. They're heading into the far turn, and Perfect in Gray has a 3-length lead. Hot Jammy still aggressively ridden, passed now by Magic Wanderer on the outside, who's coming after Perfect in Gray, heading to the quarter pole. Then Rippin' Away has lost some ground fourth with 7 lengths to make up. They're followed by Blue Breeze racing in between horses, quarter pole, and Perfect in Gray and Magic Wanderer well clear of the rest. Perfect in Gray, 2-length lead coming to the 8th pole. Magic Wanderer chasing gamely second. 6 back, Rippin' Away, and Blue Breeze a 16th to go. Perfect in Gray clinging to a 1.5-length lead. Magic Wanderer is second by a long way. Then Blue Breeze third. It's Perfect in Gray all the way. Magic Wanderer was second. Blue Breeze third. Photo for fourth between Rippin' Away and Your Royal Flyness. Here in the gate. And they're off. Lead Away had an awkward beginning. Certitude broke out very smoothly. So did Step It Out, who's up to take the lead. Kauraru is in the mix in the early stages, and Last Elizabethan on the outside. Then it's Upcharge fifth between horses, having to steady just a touch. Down at the rail, Pink Whitney in a bit tight as well. Blue Oasis is just outside of that pair, some 5 or 6 off the lead. Then Girl Can't Help It and Lead Away. Rounding the first turn, and Step It Out shows the way. Keen and leads by 3. Certitude under a strong hold in second, and Kauraru is just outside of her. Then Pink Whitney down on the fence, more settled in fourth, 4.5 or so off the lead as the field goes toward the half-mile pole. Then it's Upcharge, who's racing in between horses, about 7 or 8 lengths off the speed. Last Elizabethan just went by that rival. Down at the rail comes Blue Oasis, 3 in front of Girl Can't Help It, and Lead Away. Step It Out into the far turn, 2-length lead. Certitude's had a beautiful journey in second. Another 3 back to Kauraru in third. Now Pink Whitney comes under heavy pressure at the rail fourth. Last Elizabethan outside of her. And in between those two, Upcharge. 1/4 mile to go, and Certitude threatening to run a big one. Cut loose on the outside of Step It Out and right on by. Certitude puts 2 of them on them. Then comes Kauraru getting into second. Upcharge in the clear late, finishing with some energy past the 16th pole, and it's Certitude. Certitude, a clear-cut winner. Certitude scores by 3. Photo for second goes to Kauraru just in front of Upcharge, then Blue Oasis. In the gate. And they're off. Lady's Sermon breaks smoothly and goes straight to the front, sees the image, matches strides, and now takes the lead. Then it's Harney Lane coming away in third, followed by Twilight Empire. Tam and Terry is down at the rail. The 2 trailers, She's a Runaway, and Roses Are Blue is at the back. 8 off, front running, Sees the Image, who's pushed along with the lead. Harney Lane at the rail in second. Good trip for Lady's Sermon, who broke on top and stalks from third. Then Twilight Empire inching up on the outside fourth, 3 clear of Tam and Terry. Roses Are Blue with 8 to make up, and another 2 to She's a Runaway. 5/16 of a mile to run, and Harney Lane takes the lead. On the outside, See the Image in second. Twilight Empire is 3 deep. Lady's Sermon under pressure fourth, followed by Roses Are Blue on the far outside. They turn for home, and Harney Lane is the leader by a length and a half. Twilight Empire takes up the chase second, then Sees the Image third, and Twilight Empire is right up to Harney Lane and putting the head in front. And it's Twilight Empire just in front. Harney Lane not surrendering, battling, but second best to Twilight Empire, 2 for Frey. Harney Lane second. Roses Are Blue close strongly for third, then Sees the Image. Easter. And they're off in the San Marcos. Lord Bullingdon began well. There goes Harvard, has speed as well. And there goes Harvard, will come through on the inside to set the pace. Lord Bullingdon up close in the opening stages, and Dicey Mochara is down at the rail in third. Here's Atitlan fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Truly Quality is guided over to the inside. Divin Propose second to last, and Stretch Running Easter is at the back of a fairly compact group. By the stands, Frankie Dettori, and there goes Harvard, galloping along unopposed in front of his stablemate Lord Bullingdon second. Then Atitlan 3 deep in third, Dicey Mochara at the rail, and Truly Quality between those two. Easter and Divin Propos at the back. Rounding the Santa Anita Clubhouse turn, and there goes Harvard, left alone on the front end. Has a 2.5 length cushion on Lord Bullingdon in second. Then Atitlan inching up a closer third. Dicey Mochara on the fence in fourth. Cheminot has Truly Quality in fifth, 4 lengths off the lead between rivals. Divin Propos is just outside of him, and Easter on the fence just 5 lengths front to back, heading to the half-mile pole. Where the target remains, there goes Harvard, who's been there every step of the way. 3/4 of a length to Lord Bullingdon, Atitlan outside of them, Dicey Mochara down at the rail. Then Divin Propos, Truly Quality in between with the green cap, and Easter is the trailer. Around the far turn, there goes Harvard, still in front, a half length to Lord Bullingdon. Outside of them, Atitlan is in third. Then Divin Propos taking fourth, Easter underway. Truly Quality is still well back down at the rail. Dicey Mochara, there goes Harvard, sprints for home. 3-length lead on Lord Bullingdon, who's trying to close the gap. They've been 1-2 throughout, and Easter is coming with big strides late, but there goes Harvard, has a 4-length lead, and he's long gone. There goes Harvard, coast to coast in the San Marcos. Photo for second, Easter and Lord Bullingdon. Divin Propos was fourth. And they're off, even start. Yuki, Wish They All Could Be, part of the early speed. They're joined by Seismic Beauty on the far outside. Then comes Becky's Dream in fourth. At the rail, Ragtime Rose wasn't quick out of there, but is only 3 lengths off the lead. Where's My Ring is now behind that rival of Becky's Dream 2, and another 3 back to Happy. They passed a half-mile pole. Wish They All Could Be takes the lead away from Yuki. They're pursued by Seismic Beauty, 3 deep now, moving up on the outside. Then it's Ragtime Rose down at the rail in fourth, followed by Becky's Dream, fifth, 4.5 or so off the lead. Where's My Ring is next, and another 4 to Happy. 1/4 mile to run. Wish They All Could Be maintains the lead. On the outside, Seismic Beauty moves to engage. Yuki down at the rail is in third. And then comes Ragtime Rose in fourth inside the 8th pole. Wish They All Could Be very tough on the front end. Seismic Beauty not making any headway as Wish They All Could Be spurts clear by 2. Wish They All Could Be. Coast to coast. Seismic Beauty second best. Where's My Ring third. Yuki fourth. Last one to load. Moving in. They're in the gate. And they're off. Soho is out very quickly from the inside. Miss Mandalay is just in front currently, and Tam's Little Angel with the white blinkers comes to challenge too. Down on the inside, Accelerina and Soho is in fourth, but only a length and a half off the lead. 4 clear of Lamborghini, racing inside Rosalie May. Then Speed Lane and Over Attracted right next to one another. Tiara Queen and Ange and Ash is at the back of the field. Down the hill. And it is Accelerina on the inside, battling with Miss Mandalay. Those two are head and head as they move around the turn. Another couple of lengths back to Soho in third. Looking for racing room just behind the top pair. Tam's Little Angel with the red cap is in the thick of it too. On the inside, Speed Lane, Purple Colors is next. They're at the top of the stretch, and Miss Mandalay is the leader. Soho trying to split rivals, starting to rally along the inside. From the back of the field, Ange and Ash is picking up solid momentum behind Tam's Little Angel. It's Miss Mandalay, a length and a half close to home. Miss Mandalay, Tam's Little Angel coming. Tam's Little Angel nails Miss Mandalay. Ange and Ash close stoutly for third. Soho fourth. Six Magpies. Scratch number 4, whose name is Six Magpies. 2 and 4 out of the 10th. They'll be at the gate in 23 minutes. 6-6. It's a ticket to number 10. Hot Legs Romolo to the outside. All set for the finale. And they're off. Cantaro Doro in the center of the course is out very alertly. So is Belmont Bill. One-time mark is in the mix, and Hot Legs Romolo ranging up on the outside. So 3 noses across the course into the first turn. And it's Hot Legs Romolo, Belmont Bill, one-time mark, and there is no shortage of pace on in the early going. Cantaro Doro backs off and is now 7 lengths off the lead, rounding the first turn. Then comes Cupid's Crusader, racing on the outside of Talus. It's another couple of lengths. Back to Mighty Kai, who's toward the back of the field. Smooth Salute is next to that rival. And Ready to Rumble and Hector Barrios biding his time at the back of the field. They're heading to the half-mile pole. Belmont Bill shakes loose. 4-length lead, maybe more, on Hot Legs Romolo in second. It's another couple back to One-Time Mark third, joined on the outside by Cupid's Crusader. And at the rail, Cantaro Doro is called on. He moves up right now to be a joint second with Hot Legs Romolo rounding the far turn. Then comes Talus, who's behind horses trying to split them now. It's another 3 lengths back to the back markers. Smooth Salute, Mighty Kai, and Ready to Rumble is starting to roll. He's going to have to go about 6 wide as Belmont Bill turns for home in front. It's Belmont Bill in front by 2. One-time mark is trying his best in second, and Ready to Rumble is finishing very well on the outside. Does he have time to catch Belmont Bill? Belmont Bill, 3-length lead close to home, and Belmont Bill and Tyler Bays take them virtually all the way. And Ready to Rumble just nabbed second in front of One-Time Mark. Then it was between Talus and Cantaro Doro to complete the super high five. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast and the turf is firm with the rail on the turf out 10 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first race, started the 50-cent early pick 5, scratch number 8, Agency. The second starts the early pick 4. Just the one blinker note in race 2. In the third race, there are no changes. Fourth race is the beginning of the $2 pick 6. Please note, number 6, Run for My Honey, the jockey will not carry a whip. No whip for number 6, Run for My Honey. The fifth race starts the late pick 5 and the all-turf pick 3, which is offered on races 5, 7, and 9. By the way, with that fourth race, it should have been mentioned, as the graphic noted, we do have a pick 6 that starts with the fourth and a hefty carryover of $53,000 plus. $53,000 in the pick 6 carryover. It starts with the fourth. In the fifth race, couple of blinker notes. Race 6 starts the late pick 4, scratch number 3, Joe Vittori. Note that number 2, Far Overloaded, will carry 1 pound over. The seventh is the Sweet Life Stakes, scratch number 8, Going Deep. Number 8, Going Deep, scratched out of the seventh. And there will be a rider to be announced for number 10, C'est La Vie Charlie. Late pick 3 starts with that race. The eighth race, number 1, Cardinal Trick, 1 over. 6, Love Candy, 1 pound over. $5 late double begins with the eighth race. And in the ninth race, super high 5 wagering is offered. Scratch number 7, Great King. Those are the early changes on this big game Sunday card. Early post at 11 a.m., which is 59 minutes away. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park. Quigley's Corner is coming up next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quigley, alongside the man whose voice you just heard, track announcer Frank Mirahmadi, giving us the early program changes. It's a huge day, both for ponies and pigskins. Of course, it's a national holiday because it's Big Game Sunday, but it's also a horse player holiday here at Santa Anita Park. That's because we've got a pick 6 carryover, $53,000, kicking things off in race number 4 on today's 9-race card. Frankie, thanks so much for taking the time out to join me on the seminar. It's become a tradition for you to be the guest on Big Game Sunday.
Love Big Game Sunday, and it's certainly an honor and privilege to be here as the voice of Santa Anita Park. I think about that every day when I drive in and when I'm looking outside. Keeps me focused, keeps me grateful.
We're blessed, and we're grateful that you're going to give your opinion on today's 9-race card. Now, over the last 2 years, you've been my guest on Big Game Sunday. All you had to do was say the words Kansas City. 2 simple words, Kansas City, the last 2 years. They're going for a 3-peat. Did you say Kansas City the last 2 years?
I did not.
You did not?
I'm fairly certain I did not.
At least you're consistent.
And my pocketbook definitely did not say so either, for that matter. So,
well, we'll talk more about the game a little bit later. Of course, we've got a good 9-race card, and I mentioned the carryover. Yesterday, Frank, at least my observation was early speed, both on the main track and the turf course, seemed to do very, very well. Just thinking back, Belmont Bill, there goes Harvard. There were other winners on the main track. Are you a believer at all in track biases? And the only reason I bring that question up is because when there's results that pay so much that they did yesterday on the win-in, typically I try and find if there might be a reason why. And in my opinion, I thought perhaps the main track and the turf course might have been biased toward front runners yesterday. Do you have any biases?
I have biases, but I don't know about track biases. I have a lot of biases, and I'd like to have none, but we all have a little bit of that.
But what do you think? I mean, do you think that, like as an example, do you think yesterday it favored front runners either on the main track or on the turf course?
I wasn't really studying deeply to see if there was some sort of major deal. I would say that in quickly recalling, first of all, in Southern California, especially at Santa Anita, in your lifetime, I would imagine that early speed has been good to you. And if you really think hard, almost every track in the country, early speed, getting to the rail, those are two things that make sense. You're covering the least amount of ground, and speed is dangerous. And as Aaron Millman said, after There Goes Harvard blasted home yesterday in the San Marcos, pace makes the race. So I will say that I did notice, and just quickly thinking back at yesterday, that the horses that were on the lead on the grass certainly seemed to keep on going. Let's give Jessica Pfeiffer. I told you before your seminar yesterday that if you listen to Jessica going before the gate, she is absolutely remarkable with her selections, as is Zoe and as is Millie, because first of all, they're all horsewomen. They should know what they're looking at, but this is very important data. And she told you two horses yesterday in that race, the number 10, who was the big favorite that one person would hit the pick six. And she mentioned Belmont Bill. She actually mentioned one of the horses. I didn't hear it, but in order, it was the runner-up, Belmont Bill. Belmont Bill's 10-1. If you box them, it was good. She does a tremendous job, and she's highly underrated for her knowledge of, horses before the race. What I'm going to tell you is I think that part of my resistance to getting involved in bias talk is if you look at Twitter, after one race at various circuits, all of a sudden it's like, this could be an outside day. And that just, to me, is preposterous. There are times in which closers just happen to be doing well that particular afternoon. It's not, I think in horse racing, we've talked about this before, Tom, people are always looking for a reason why they weren't right.
Correct.
Guess what? It's hard to win. And the best handicappers win 3 out of 10. So it's okay to just say, hey, I was wrong. My horse collapsed and had nothing left when it counted, as opposed to trying to make an excuse because the inside was this, the outside was that. So,
Frank, we're hoping you can help us win today. So let's kick things off here in race number 1, which, of course, as you well know, begins the 50-cent early pick 5. We're on the turf course today. Race 1 is 1 mile in distance. The turf rails are at 10 feet. This race is for $30,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. There is one scratch. Scratch the 8 agency. Leaves us with a field of 7. Number 1, Baldoro is the 2-1 morning line and current 2-1 choice on the tote board. Give us your thoughts on race 1.
I actually like the number 1, Baldoro on top here. I would have picked agency because I just thought he had too much class for this group and maybe would have dropped into a spot where he was too strong, but he is scratched. And before I just, I want to conclude and say there are certainly days at many racetracks, by the way, Tom, that things like that do happen. You'd have to be ignorant not to know that. I just think that because it's overstated, I have a little more resistance to get into that particular topic.
It's a personal thing. It's
well,
not
I mean, it's important,
science.
Right? It's an important thing. I mean, you need every edge to try to pick winners, and you need the fastest horse typically, and that's what's going to help you. And you need a good ride and a lot of other variables.
Well, you're hoping Baldoro is the fastest horse in race 1.
He's game. He's well spotted. He's in the right place, and he did get up to beat and Ready to Rumble, who put in a nice performance in his next start too. The number 3, Simplexity. Certainly, if I was rooting for a horse in here, I got to root for this horse. A couple of my good friends are part of the ownership group of Simplexity, and anytime Dan Blacker wins, I got to smile because he's part of the great family.
He's been winning a lot lately.
Yes, and he was very lucky to marry one Christina Blacker. So anyway, Simplexity was very gutsy, and I've been referencing to some of my friends and you, and even in the winner's circle recently, the great rides that have been put on by Hector Berrios. He is a phenomenal finisher, and when he starts coming, you really have to fear for your horse that's in front of him because he does come, and that was the case last time with Simplexity, who does stretch out here, and I think that he's in good form. He was bet pretty hard last time too, off of his morning line and got the money in the last couple of jumps. I do think Baldoro does have a little bit of an edge on him, even though he's turning back from 9 furlongs to 8. I went 1-3 in the opener.
Frank, you alluded a little bit earlier about the one ticket that was alive in yesterday's last race. Unfortunately, that horse finished second. Well, as you well know, Frank, in the Coast to Coast Pick 5, there were 2 winning tickets. Each winning ticket paid $70,000. You and I have been promoting that wager quite a bit because it's got a low takeout, high minimum. It's always been paying well. This was a huge payout. You might have seen my tweet. The 2 winning tickets, one was bought for a remarkable $32 on track here at Santa Anita.
Good for them.
The other one was bought for $243 at a Orange County off-track betting facility. So great job of handicapping.
Sammy's? Was it Sammy's?
I wanted to give that person a little bit of time to breathe in order to capture tickets, so I'll just leave it here. If you had the winning ticket, I'm not sure you'd want to know the exact location. Well, Santa Anita's a big track. It could be anywhere on track.
I got you, bro.
But the OTB location.
Discretion.
Yeah, exactly. But nevertheless, great job of handicapping by those handicappers because, it's a 5-race sequence, $32 ticket, $200 ticket. Those are not monster tickets to hit a $70,000 score.
It's a beautiful thing, and it just shows that it can be done, and that is a great wager. I mean, every day, even the other day when it was like really all favorites or so, or very, very formful, it paid like
$600. Exactly right.
So that payoff, I mean, we've had some extraordinary payoffs. And I think in all multi-race wagers, I really believe, and I'm not sure, I don't have the science behind this, but I do think when you beat the favorite in that first leg, for some reason, I think what happens probably,
it's a security blanket for the gambler.
Early on, you want to just kind of get the chalk, get it out of the way, and then spread later. Right. But if you're able to get away from the favorite, and that happened at Gulfstream, it was actually a close photo, not a close photo, but it was a close race. The horse held on. Oh, it was pretty close, about a neck. But anyway, the horse who held on was a moderate price versus a big favorite that probably would have changed the whole situation. And then you get a couple upsets here. Everyone always says, oh, it's always low price at Santa Anita. Well, guess what?
Correct.
Yesterday was quite the exception. We've had several days like that this meet, but people have amnesia about that fact.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're switching over to the main track here. 6.5 furlongs in the main track. For maiden claiming, fillies and mares, $50,000 of the claiming tag, a field of 5. Number 5, Fire Band, going from turf to dirt and adding blinkers from trainer Brian Corner, is the 8-5 Maury Lane favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 2, Frank.
I mean, he's going back to 6.5 furlongs. He has sprinted once in his life. He was a distant second to some sort of bolt horse, and I think that might happen today. And I just said he, and I can't stand when people do that when it's a she.
It's early. It's early California
time. You have
time.
no idea. When I hear people saying he, and it's a she,
you hit the mute.
My judgmental side comes out saying, open your eyes. So
it's one of your biases. Let's face it.
I'm going to open mine and say she, because I'm seeing F as in Philly and saying, hey, Frank.
It might be a sign for the for the big game.
That's
Philly.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Philly. I like the one Bolt on the Rocks, the daughter of Bolt Doro, who has speed. Comes back to the races, was last racing in August, and went wire to wire other than the winner. So I would say that, no, it's true. She was battling for the lead, and someone was way ahead of her. But anyway, the 4th and 5th place finishers, Tom, came back to win their next start. They won a maiden 50 and a maiden 30, respectively. I'll give a slight edge to her. I'm not suggesting that the favorite can't win, but I just think 8-5 is a little low on Fireband. And I went to number 3, Running Super, as my second choice there for Vladimir Serin, coming back to the dirt off a turf race. I do find that sometimes after a dirt horse goes to turf, comes back to dirt, same with the synthetic surface at Gulfstream. There was a powerful winner yesterday at a very short price that the time before looked like it was running through quicksand and got back on the dirt and just blew him away. I do feel that sometimes when the horse gets back to their preferred surface, like, and maybe put in a good effort, perhaps even a winning effort for Running Super. Running Super will be tough here. I went 1-3. And anytime a run happy wins, I got to be happy.
We're all happy.
We got to be happy. He's spent a lot of money here.
Mattress Mac. He faced some health issues. I know you keep in touch with him. He's back on the mend, isn't he?
He's doing just fine. I don't know if he's announced. He's taken some baths that didn't involve soap and water with Mr. Mahomes himself. And he was talking in the press. I hope he doesn't bet the Super Bowl, because if you go back to Mahomes after you've been fighting him and he loses, then you really got to evaluate.
Winners win.
Winners win.
Race number 3, we're back on the turf course. Again, 2 turns is the distance, 1 1/8 specifically for fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 2, other than a field of 6. Number 6, Moment's Pleasure. The talented Calbred is the 2-1 Maury Lane favorite for trainer Craig Lewis. Talk to us about race 3, Frank.
It pays to be Calbred.
Sure
you know
does.
that. I know that. Of course, we know that.
It's proven time and time again.
I'm a CTBA man. I'm a Calbred. And so I love Calbreds. And I think Craig Lewis is an outstanding horseman, very consistent year in, year out. His clubhouse ride has done him some favors, and he deserves it because he trained that horse to perfection. And I think he'll get a W here with Moment's Pleasure. This filly is stretching out again, but I think that she's the right horse, and she is the 2-1. So you're not going to get much of a price, but I do think you can get her home. And then number 2, Sakura Blossom for Leonard Powell, was facing much, much better than this. And she could be very dangerous to blow right by the competition. In fact, in this field, her best might be too good for this field, but I'm going to give a little bit of an edge to the 6, Moment's Pleasure. And Flavian Pratt, congratulations on another huge day for him traveling.
Speaking about winners win,
I mean,
goes to Tampa Bay, wins their feature race.
I think sometimes with jockeys, some of their losing rides even show their greatness. And I don't remember the filly's name, but there was a race yesterday where he rode a Judmont horse, a mare, and she really looked to be outclassed. And he rode her, the hair off of her out of the gate at Tampa, and just missed to a heavy, heavy favorite. And it's like, I was thinking, like, what a great ride. It reminded me in a little bit, in an obscure analogy, to Chris McCarron on Fantastic Look. Many, many moons ago at Del Mar, almost beating Bayacoa and losing by about a nostril. And it was only a nostril because of his great ride. Same with Flavian Pratt.
I think Flavian Pratt is such a great jockey that we should all show him the respect to call him Flavian, which is exactly what his first name is, as opposed to the many varieties that are out there. It's a very simple thing. It rolls off the tongue. Flavian Pratt is his name.
Fair enough. Race number 4 begins the $2 pick 6. That's when the fireworks begin. As you've heard, we've got a $53,000 carryover in the pick 6 pool. And we kick things off here on the main track, 1 mile the distance. For fillies and mares, $8,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime, primarily restricted to horses that are based up in Northern California. Number 5, Sunglasses, owned by our friend Ron Charles, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 4, Frank.
One of the classy gentlemen in who doesn't? The guy's an absolute class act and headed up Santa Anita for some time.
Horse player as well. Horse owner, horse player.
I know his silks well. Charles in the Clear Valley stables used to have horses with Sandy Schulman.
Sure.
And now you see a lot of Charles and Gordons that were around for a while. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Charles, a gentleman and just a total class act. And hopefully he'll be in the winner's circle because I picked him on top here with this mare who is taking a plunge in class. It might just be too good for this group coming over and running on the main track. So I went number 5, Sunglasses first, the 3, Crypto Crush. But it's a field of 7, but it's no easy assignment to get through the first leg of the pick 6. And so that might be a race where you use a couple others as well. But I think Sunglasses best should be best. And there's no substitute for class, both from the ownership and from the horse. I think she's too good for them.
Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We kick off both wagers in race 5, sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred. Maiden special weights, a good field of 10 here. Take note, number 7, Miss Joe's Curlin is a first-time gelding. Number 2, Just a Gaze from the Red Hot Mike Pipey Barn is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Before you get to thoughts on the race, Frankie, you wanted to show the replay, the one and only afternoon effort for number 5, Charlie's Pride, a Calbred who was sired by Arrogate with the Danby and Enola Gray, a runner we both know very well, also owned by Nick Alexander. This replay was way back on April 20th. Charlie Pride is going to break from post position number 4. Took action that day in a field of 9. So let's listen.
But it was the 5 horse. It should be noted.
Even Saddlecloth 5. Saddlecloth number 5. Let's take a listen to you describe the action back on April 20th, Frank, and watch the runner wearing Saddlecloth number 5.
They're in the gate, and they're off. Ghostly Act is out very alertly. Here comes Moon Ice along the inside. Moon Ice takes the lead. Finner's Golden Sense is now moving into second. They're followed by Ghostly Act third. Unusual Measure is next, followed by Drive for Show, 5 lengths off the lead. Antibes is next. Charlie Pride, who is off slowly, moves up inside of him. Then Handsome Red and Dopiton Star at the back of the field. They move into the far turn. Moon Ice, traveling comfortably, leads 3/4 of a length. Finner's Golden Sense in second. Then Ghostly Act, 3 wide third. Took a little awkward step there and backs up. Drive for Show is down at the rail. Antibes is awaiting racing room. He's having to steady and climbing a bit between rivals. Then comes Unusual Measure on the outside as the field turns for home. Moon Ice hugs the rail and spurts away. It's Moon Ice with a 6-length lead. Antibes in the center of the course. Drive for Show weaving through traffic. Down at the rail, Charlie Pride finishing with interest along with Ghostly Act. Moon Ice in a runaway. Moon Ice, another for Hector Berrios.
Moon Ice dominant in victory, but as we saw, Charlie Pride off slowly, rallied along the rail. Certainly has a lot of potential. We can see on the gallop out, also full of run. You like him best today?
I actually spoke to Nick Alexander about this horse because, Arrogate legend that he was, this horse, he's waiting to get some return on investment for this Arrogate.
5-year-old.
But Enola Gray is something very near and dear to his heart and anyone who watched her run. I thought the reason I picked this horse on top was because I felt he had no business whatsoever getting second even that day, coming down the stretch. And he was able to gut out second and finish with some good energy after hopping in the air at the start and losing some ground. So if he improves and he's ready for trainer Phil D'Amato, and generally Phil sends him back razor sharp, if this horse is ready to roll, I think he could beat the 2 other pretty obvious horses in here, which are the 2 Just a Graze and the 6 Sir Rocket. I gave the slight nod to Just a Graze, excuse me, even though Sir Rocket would theoretically have every chance to improve because he's making a second start and they met once before and he was only beaten 1.25 lengths by Just a Graze. And he does get the services of Pratt. I still thought Just a Graze deserves the nod over him, but I think those are really the only 3 you'd have to think about in race number 5, at least in my personal opinion.
Frankie, we're at halftime of today's 9-race card, so it's a good segue to talk at least for a minute or two about the big game. Of course, we want to know your opinion. Do you like a particular team? Do you like the total? Do you like a prop? Like, if you were to attack the game from a wagering standpoint, how would you approach it?
Well, Bill Platsky of the LA Times wrote a phenomenal article. I emailed
Today.
it to, I hope you read it.
I did.
Yeah, it was in there a couple of days ago.
5 o'clock in the morning, you texted it to me. How could I not read it?
Yes, I have sleepless nights. I have bad dreams, but I'll get over it. But anyway.
They're called nightmares, but keep going.
Exactly. But I loved his column. I thought it was great. He's an unbelievable writer.
What did he say?
He basically said he's picking the Eagles, but then he went over his record of Super Bowl selections.
Right.
So I think we could basically mirror one another. I looked through, before we do this seminar, I went through all the Super Bowls, had some flashbacks, had some great memories, some fun memories, and then had some ones that were not fun.
A lot of people have those, though, too, right? You can't go undefeated in the Super Bowl.
No, I certainly haven't. But I really think the Eagles are the better team. I thought that the last time they met and they took a vicious L.
You liked the Eagles before you read the Plaschke article.
I did. I liked them.
Right.
Well, and here's the thing. Early in the season, I thought the Eagles stunk. I watched that game intently when they played New Orleans early in the season. I'm like, this team is no good. But they really improved since that time. And the only game they lost was late in the season to Washington. And it was a real sick loss. It was a great win for Washington. And I love their quarterback. And I really thought that they could make a run. But they were one completed a dropped ball away from just basically bringing the broom out for all their games, as opposed to races. I think the right two teams are in the Super Bowl, Tom, because Kansas City, even though they did have some very lucky wins, we talk about all the time. Winners win. Yep. Good breaks go to those who are in the position to score. But I remember specifically mentioning to you when they met last time, just talking about Andy Reid and the pain that was suffered by the Eagles fans. And Jalen Hurts is such a class act. He really took that loss, like a true professional.
They're going to be motivated. There's no mistake about that.
Who isn't motivated?
Right.
This is it. I do love Taylor Swift. My favorite song of hers is Shake It Off, but there are a few other ones. But Shake It Off has some very special meaning to me, not about the song, but the time of that song. And when it was on, when I was in the hospital many years ago, that song, I even asked my doctors if that song it was so much in my mind. I asked them if that's what they were playing when they were giving me a 5.5-hour surgery in 2016. And they said, no, we had Led Zeppelin on to let you know, as we were digging in, trying to find that tumor and get it out of you. But I love Taylor Swift. I think she's phenomenal, and she's a tremendous talent. Love her music, love her creativity. But I think that if you look at her songs, there's a lot of sad songs that she's written about bad things that have happened. She needs to start getting her pen and paper out and start writing how her boyfriend went down hard in this game. I think the Eagles win by 20 points today and blow the Chiefs right out of the building.
And there's even a prop bet how many times the TV cameras will show Taylor Swift, in case you're interested on wagering on that.
They can't show her enough. She's a superstar and a beautiful woman.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Calbred Maiden Claimers, $12,500 is the tag. Again, restricted to horses based up in Northern California. Scratch the 3 leaves us with a field of 9. Number 2, Far Overloaded, who's the lukewarm 7-2 Maury Line favorite. It's also a first-time gelding. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Frankie?
Thumbs down. I love a horse in this race. And
Talk to us.
The moment I saw the entries, this horse just jumped out without me knowing anything about it. And when I looked up the pedigree last night, it was all confirmed. I absolutely love the number 8 here. Don't let this horse beat you in the Big 6. Rachel's Gig. This horse has every bit of what looks like a winner in this 12-5 level. First of all, for those not familiar with Isidro Tamayo, this guy is a stone-cold winner. He's been winning tons of races in Northern California for a long time. Excellent trainer. And this horse is bred out of the family, 3 two-time winners, a 3-time winner, and an 11-time winner for this homebred, basically. And working at P-Town, I'm very sad about the developments over there. I worked for 9 years at the Alameda County Fair, and my heart goes out to the horsemen, and I hope that many of them are able to make the transition down here. But I have to say that because I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't. It's very, very sad what has developed. But Rachel's Gig is my pick. Number 10, Mr. Hussar, for my good buddy BG, which is Big George Yeager. He had a nice win yesterday. Hector Palma had back-to-back wins. This one is trained by Steve Sherman, another classy gentleman who always references his dad in any interview or seminar. It's everything I believe in. And I'm sure that he'll get the best out of this son of Fighting Hussar. I thought the 9 needs to be used as well. By the way, I have a weird angle, which is when horses, quote unquote, burn chalk, which means they lose as the favorite at what I determine to be a lesser oval. i.e., even the fairgrounds would be a lesser oval than Keeneland for that matter. You know what I mean? Fairgrounds is a great place, but when you're at fairgrounds with Keeneland, you know the answer is Keeneland. Horses that lose as the favorite at a lesser track and then go to another track, get a better price on them, I always like to include those horses. Now, this horse is a perfect example, but he was up at 1-5. That was gross if you went down losing by a head there, but you'd hate to see that horse make amends and beat you. So I would go 8, 10, and 9. Those are the three, but I just somehow have a very good feeling about this 8 horse I haven't looked at it. I haven't gotten any clocker reports, steam, 0. Hoser Satrapa, I want to mention, just because I asked Nick Alexander about these 2 names. One of them scratched, so I can't get into the very brave Joe Vittori. But Hoser Satrapa was a pilot in World War II and shot down a bunch of enemy planes, according to Nick Alexander, who was kind enough to answer his phone during dinner last night as I was asking him some background. I love the way he, pays tribute to people that he respected in this world.
Nick can't say no even to a phone call from Frank Mirahmadi.
That's right. He took it. He was at a pizza place. Talk about a good call.
I'm sure you told him where to go.
No, it was up by his house, up in luxury land.
Yeah, I know.
No, it was way up there.
Race number 7 is the feature race on today's card. It's the Sweet Life Stakes. We're coming down the Hillside Turf Course for 3-year-old fillies. It also begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. Scratch the 8 going deep leaves us with a field of 9. Number 10, the jockey will be announced. Frankie Dettori off that mount. The morning line favorite, Cassaloo from the Bob Baffert barn going route to a sprint. What say you about race 7, Frankie?
I've always thought, and so have people, including Hall of Famer Gary Stevens, who rode down this hill as well as anybody, that the about 6.5 is a very good combination with those who are proficient at a mile, and this horse has enough tactical speed. So certainly Cassaloo is one you have to consider. I went to the 3, Schilflied, who broke her maiden emphatically. I remember we had a lot of fun back on my birthday in October in our broadcast team trying to find out what this name was. And I listened to some song, and I eventually came up with what I thought was correct. No one's really corrected me since. So I'll actually go listen to that replay one more time to make sure I'm saying it right now. But her win down the hill was very nice. I was disappointed in her last time. I must admit that I liked her last time, and she was getting Lasix for the first time, and I thought she was very flat. So hopefully the return down the hill will do the job for her. For second, I picked the 7 As Catch Can for Jonathan Thomas for the Augustin Stables. We're very pleased to have that connection here, filling our races and bringing some nice horses. This horse was a neck away from winning a Grade 3, and on the turf has been in the money 2 of 3 starts and a nice win with $50,000 in turf earnings. There is some pace in here. There are a lot of unknown variables in here. Who knows what's going to happen? This is a tough race. Why not As Catch Can with Umberto Rispoli coming flying late just in case. And then, there are others to consider in here too. I don't think this is an easy race. Another crazy long shot. I won't go into too many long shots. I'm just going to go with my 2 picks, 3 and 7. I think you have to use the favorite, but there are others to consider as well.
Race number 8 begins the popular $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout, and we're sprinting 6 furlongs in race 8. It's a restricted starter optional claiming race with a field of 7. The morning line favorite on the bottom, the heavy favorite, number 7, Major Tom at 4-5 on the morning line. Not familiar with the trainer. Maybe you are, Frank. Talk to us about race 8.
I'm not actually. I am not. I should be, but I'm not. And here's the thing. This horse is a 6-time winner. Did come off, in its only start here, ran terribly, but he was
tougher competition.
Right. Of course, way tougher. And these are, 62-50 claimers in here that he's got to face today. And so I certainly understand that he's the favorite. But I actually, on purpose, didn't even pick this horse second in order to, give myself a little bit of a stand in going against him. And so. Because I just think that it's not as easy as some cinch like that 17.5 length winner the other day. Because if you think about it, when Major Tom won, and that was 2 starts ago on December 15th at Pleasanton, okay, in that race, he went off at odds of 8-1, Major Tom. And, the Victor Trujillo horse, the second one, Bertacci, was the one was 39-1. So he was a long shot, but he showed a little bit of speed in that race, and he got drilled by many, many lengths. I'm going with the 5 in here, and that's No Doro, who was also overmatched in that same race. And when they met that day, Major Tom, that's the analogy I want to make about the odds, by the way. He was 18-1. This horse was 50-1 when they met over here. So they were both considerable long shots, and I realized that No Doro ended up finishing well behind him. But in the end, how much worse was No Doro than Major Tom? one placing. 8 lengths, but one placing. So I'm just not going to say this is the cinch of the day by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I think if you play a pick 6 with any level of seriousness, you absolutely have to use this horse. But I took a stand in order to make the statement that I don't believe he's a cinch. I'm not saying he's not the right favorite. I'm not saying he's not going to be that odds. I'm just thinking like a horse like him, I don't want to take him at a ridiculously low price. Those races, create a level of vulnerability.
Frank says beat the chalk in race number 8. Let's see what he says about race number 9.
It'll be fun to call that race when I'm like, Major Tom by 10 at the 16th hole, right?
Re-cue the seminar tape. Race number 9 is the final race of the day, and of course the final race of the week. We also offer $1 super high five wagering, and we end the day a big game Sunday going 1 mile on the turf course for starter optional claiming types. Field of 8 after the scratch of number 7, Great King, morning line favorite, going sprint to route number 4, Terry's Boy. Tight on time, Frankie. Give us a winner.
I like the 5 in here: Hurricane Cloud, Richard Baltus, and Antonio Fresu.
You'll be happy to know that's Brad Free's play of the day as well.
That's nice to know. Brad's a phenomenal handicapper and certainly much better than me. The 1st and 6th place finishers came back to there, and there was a horse out of there. The horse who finished behind him was claimed for $50,000 out of that race, adding to the level of productivity. And you got to put in the 3, Fantastic, who's been perfectly handled by trainer Peter Urton. Came back and won by a confident head last time at age 9. And what Peter said is he still loves what he's doing. And it was clear that he loved what he was doing when he ended up winning that race. So I think that Fantastic would be a nice way to close out your pick 6, because you could yell it out as you get to the winner's circle.
Frank, it's clear that you love what you do as well. We're honored to have you here, not only as a seminar guest, but the full-time announcer. Keep up the great work, and good luck with the Eagles in the Super Bowl today.
Thank you. I need it. I hope they win by many, because those props minus a lot of points pay well.
Speaking of props, one more wager to consider. That's the Coast to Coast Pick 5. Yesterday's result, 2 winning tickets paid $70,000. We kick things off today. Of course, it's $1 minimum with a low 15% takeout. And the sequence today includes 3 races from Santa Anita, but the very first leg of the Coast to Coast Pick 5 is Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 12:49 p.m. Pacific time. Hope everybody has a great afternoon of racing here at Santa Anita. Also, hope you enjoy Big Game Sunday. Hope your favorite team wins. Thanks so much for watching the seminar. Next voice you hear will be this character next to me updating us with any scratches. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great afternoon and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. The track is fast. The turf course is firm. Here are the changes. There's one additional scratch on this slate. In the first, scratch number 8, Agency, started the early pick 5. Number 8, Agency, is out. In race 2, just the one blinker note. Turning to the third race, no changes. Race 4 is the start of the pick 6. There is a carryover of $53,000. Number 6, Run for My Honey. The rider will not carry a whip. Matter of fact, during the seminar, I meant to tell Tom Quigley, it reminded me of Mr. Prime Minister many years ago racing down the hill with no whip. It was a very distinct announcement then and is today. No whip for number 6, Run for My Honey. In the fifth race, started the late pick 5. $3 all-turf pick 3 begins. Couple of blinker notes. In race 6, scratch number 3, Joe Vittori, and the new scratch is number 6, Hunting for Gold. Number 2, Far Overloaded, 1 pound over. In race 7, scratch number 8, Going Deep. 7th race, take out the 8. The $3 late pick 3 starts. 10, C'est La Vie Charlie, will have a rider to be announced. In the 8th, number 1, Cardinal Trick, 1 pound over. And number 6, Love Candy, 1 pound over. The $5 late double starts with the 8th. And the 9th is the Super Bowl starter. Scratch number 7, Great King. Number 7, Great King, is out of the 9th, which offers super high 5 wagering. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park, and please watch the big game with us afterward. We have contests where you can enter for free and win lots of money. We'll tell you more about that a little later on. Post time for the first is in 25 minutes at 11 a.m. Thank you for visiting the Great Race Place, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.